Hey TerrificTen viewers! Before we dive into today's intriguing journey through the US states, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more fascinating content. Today's video explores the demographic landscapes of various US states, focusing purely on historical and cultural aspects. We're here to inform and entertain, not to promote any form of discrimination or prejudice. So, let's embark on this educational tour with an open mind and a spirit of discovery. Nebraska, land where 88.1% of its population is as white as the endless fields of corn. It's not just a state, it's a grand European gathering, minus the language barriers. In the 1870s, Europeans flocked here like it was a continental mixer, bringing a cultural potluck featuring Danes, Swedes, Irish, Germans, and Czechs. And let's not forget the Nebraskan name game, where Oliver reigns supreme. Picture a state fair where everyone shares a family tree and a love for kolaches. Nebraska's demographic is like a European reunion, where everyone decided to stay and farm. It's a place where diversity means choosing between German or Czech beer. Here, the history isn't just in the books, it's in the family recipes passed down through generations, each adding a pinch of old country flavor to the American melting pot. Montana, where the white population of 88.9% is as vast as its open skies. Imagine a state that said, let's have cowboys, but make them European. Early settlers included Italians looking for less drama than in Italian operas, Germans seeking beer opportunities, and Scots who thought kilts and cowboy boots were a fashion statement. It's like the old world had a meeting and decided, let's all go to Montana and raise cattle. The state's demographic history reads like an international Western movie script, complete with accents. Here, you can find a shepherd's pie recipe with a side of cowboy beans. Montana, the land where a rodeo might just include bagpipes and lederhosen. It's a melting pot with a Wild West twist, where the cowboys might just serenade you with a Gaelic lullaby or a hearty German folk song. Utah, clocking in at a dazzling 90.6% white, is more than just a Mormon stronghold. It's a cultural blender set on European mix. Before the Mormons took over in 1847, Utah was a tapestry of Spanish explorers, French Canadians, and other European adventurers who thought, this desert needs some old world charm. Then came the Mormons, turning it into a giant family reunion, where Smith and Young are the names on every mailbox. Utah's like that one neighborhood where everyone's related, and half the town shows up to the annual family barbecue. It's a place where every other person has a pioneer story, and the cultural diversity is measured in variations of Jell-O salads. Here, you're more likely to find a Scandinavian festival than a spicy taco, and the state's history reads like a who's who of European settlers with a penchant for deserts. Welcome to Iowa, with its 90.6% white population, resembling a Scandinavian convention more than a U.S. state. The Hawkeye State is where Dutch, German, Irish, Scots, and Welsh settlers once thought, this looks just like home, but with more corn. It's a place where you might hear an, oh, sorry, at every corner and where the state fair is less a fair and more a cultural mosaic on a stick. Iowa's history is like a European tour guide's dream, featuring a bit of everything from the old continent. Imagine a state where diversity means deciding whether to attend the Norwegian or the Dutch festival. Here, the American melting pot simmers with a distinctly European flavor, and a surname like Johansson or Van something is as common as a cornfield. It's where you can find a polka dance and a bagpipe performance at the same county fair. Iowa, where the old world charm meets the Midwestern nice. Next, Wyoming, where the 92.5% white population is as stark as its open plains. It's a state that said, let's have more cowboys and fewer people. Wyoming's early demographic was a mix of British, Germans, Italians, Basques, and Greeks, all thinking, let's settle where the neighbors are miles away. It's the kind of place where diversity means your neighbor is from a different European country, not just a different U.S. state. The state's history is like a frontier soap opera, filled with tales of rugged individualism and cultural mishmash. Here, you might find a Greek diner serving spaghetti next to a steakhouse. Wyoming, where the Wild West meets European immigrants who thought, this looks like a good place for sheep. It's a state where the cowboy hats outnumber the people and where you're as likely to hear a yodel as a country song. Idaho, famous for its potatoes and a striking 93% white population, could pass as a mini Britain, minus the rain. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, English settlers came in droves, lured by the promise of land without the British taxes. Idaho's demographic story is like a British sitcom set in the Wild West. It's the kind of place where diversity means whether you prefer your potatoes baked, mashed, or fried. The state is a testament to those seeking new opportunities, with a side of fish and chips. Here, the history isn't just about the Oregon Trail. It's also about John and Jane from England seeking a new life. Idaho. Where you're more likely to bump into a Nigel than a Jose, and where every town has at least one tea shop trying to make it feel like home. Venturing into New Hampshire, with 93.1% of its population whiter than the snow on Mount Washington. This New England state has roots so deep in colonial history, it's practically a live-action history book. Initially settled by the British, with a sprinkle of Scottish and Irish for good measure, it's like the settlers decided, let's recreate England, but with more trees. New Hampshire's demographic development is a classic tale of Europeans thinking, the New World needs more pubs. It's a place where cultural diversity means choosing between maple syrup and apple cider. This state is not just about the live free or die motto. It's also about maintaining that quaint, colonial charm with a side of modern-day America. New Hampshire. Where every other house looks like it should be on a postcard and where the state bird might as well be the British robin. Next stop, West Virginia, with a 93.5% white population, as if the Scottish, Irish, and Germans decided to have a reunion in the Appalachians. The state's demographic fabric was woven in the mid-1700s by settlers who thought, let's settle where the hills sing. West Virginia's cultural tapestry is so rich, it's like a folk song come to life, complete with banjos and fiddles. Here, diversity means whether your family hails from the highlands of Scotland or the valleys of Germany. It's a place where every other person claims a great-grandparent who came over on the boat. West Virginia, the state where history is told through folktales and where every town has a story about the old country. It's where the echoes of the past meet the rugged beauty of the present, creating a unique blend of Americana. Vermont, where 94.2% of its population is whiter than its famed cheddar cheese. Settled primarily by the English, Irish, and Scottish, Vermont later welcomed a hearty serving of French Canadians, making it feel like a European Union meeting, but with more maple syrup. The state's demographic is like a colonial-era sitcom, where every episode features a new group of settlers saying, let's make this more interesting. Here, diversity means whether you prefer your pancakes with maple syrup or maple cream. Vermont's history is a quirky mix of Old English traditions, Irish jigs, Scottish kilts, and French cuisine, creating a cultural stew that's uniquely American. It's a place where the town meetings might as well be held in Gaelic, and where every other car is a Subaru sporting a "Bernie for President" sticker. Vermont. Where the past is always present, and the future is as green as its mountains. Finally, Maine, topping our list with a 94.4% white population, as if New England saved all its colonial charm for one state. Maine's demographic character is so New England, even the lobsters wear tartan. The state's history is marked by English settlers who thought, let's find a place colder than England, and later joined by French Canadians who decided, let's find a place more tranquil than Quebec. Maine is where diversity means choosing between lobster and clams for dinner. It's a place where every lighthouse has a story, and every story has a lighthouse. Portland, the largest city, is so quaint, it feels like a British village where everyone forgot to drive on the left. Maine. The state where you're more likely to encounter a moose than a traffic jam, and where the sea whispers tales of the old world and the new. Wow! What a journey through the diverse states of the U.S. Remember, our exploration today was all about understanding the rich tapestry of American demographics. We hope you enjoyed this enlightening tour. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious, Terrific 10 viewers.